Welcome to our Week 5 coverage between Alabama and Georgia. We lead off Monday's coverage discussing Coach Kalen DeBoer's press conference along with Kirby Smart. Coach Kalen DeBoer was asked on Monday by team reporters about the level of confidence. Are you confident going into Saturday's game? Here's Coach Kalen DeBoer, courtesy Video Alabama Athletics.
Just what have you seen in the last few weeks from the team, could be in game, could be in practice, that gives you confidence that they'll be able to go on the road and execute unlike what happened in week 1?
Yeah, whatever we've asked of this group, they've just been so coachable, and I think talking through and going through what we've experienced together. You got to prove it on the football field, but just the way that they want to respond in practice, I think, has carried over into what we've done, at least in these home games these last 2 weeks. And so, we got to be resilient. We know there's going to be storms that we're going to have to weather in the SEC, on the road, and you got to do it. No one else is going to go do it for you. I know there's a high want-to factor that this group has. Again, they've shown it in the work. They've shown it in their preparation, and that's the key. Really, just prepare. Invest and do everything you can to be confident and do something special together. And so, I just ask these guys to empty the tank every single day, and they've done that. And that's what we got to do on Saturday. But we're going to have to be resilient, and understand that adversity against good football teams is going to happen, and know what our response is going to be, choose our response, and understand what that looks like even now, not just when it happens.
Yeah, before we get to Coach Kirby Smart, we'll go kind of back and forth. Coach Kalen DeBoer right there talking about weathering the storm, right? And I think when you talk about weathering the storm, that is something that's going to happen regardless of if you're at Sanford Stadium or you're playing at Missouri, you're playing at South Carolina, you're hosting Vanderbilt, which, by the way, will be at 2:30 Central Time right here at Bryant-Denny Stadium. This team is going to have to go through a ton of adversity. There's no other team, in the Big Ten, I guess you could say, that's going to go through the gauntlet of a schedule that Alabama's about to go through, right? This is a big boy schedule. This is an NFL type schedule. And, like Coach Kalen DeBoer said, it's about emptying the tank. How bad do you want it? And how do you respond when you do get punched in the mouth? We'll jump over to Coach Kirby Smart. This is on Monday. We'll kind of jump back and forth. It'll be fun.
Going to be choose our response and understand what that looks like even now, not just when it happens.
Yeah, Coach, how have you seen this Alabama offense change year over year? Obviously, the quarterback has changed, but how has their identity changed, if at all?
Ty's different than Milroe. You said it. So there's a difference in that. But he's a really good athlete. Like, he's a tremendous athlete. He played in games last year, and you watch all the snaps he took, and he has 60, 70, 80-yard runs that are, running down the field, outrunning good defenses. So he's a talented player. I would say he's probably the hottest quarterback right now in all of college football. His 2 last outings, I don't know that I've seen an incompletion. Like, the ball does not hit the ground. He's been accurate. He's been quick with the ball. They're really hard to defend because of their skill. They've got tremendous skilled receivers, backs, tight ends, but you got to have a trigger guy that can get those guys the ball, and they do. And he's seeing the field. I didn't realize, in the Florida State game, it was as messy and sloppy as the weather was at times. Like we were playing a game during that time, so I had no idea until last week. You go watch, and you're like, oh, okay, it was a rainy, sloppy game. In the other games he's played, there's been no sloppiness. I mean, he's accurate, he's quick with the ball, he's a good decision maker, and has made some elite throws. So they're clicking right now offensively for sure.
Yeah, this will be. Yeah, I love that soundbite right there, because I feel that Ty Simpson is one of the hottest quarterbacks in the country. I mean, what he's been able to do in the last 2 games, super impressive. And as Coach Kirby Smart points out, I don't even know if there was a drop. There was drops, but it wasn't because of his performance. You know what I'm saying? Like, the receivers dropped the passes. So 41 of 49, I think, are the numbers over the last 2 games. Super impressive. I'm glad that Coach Kirby Smart realizes, number one, the play of Ty Simpson, and the fact that the first game of the season, it was wet, it was sloppy. We continue with Coach Kirby Smart.
Your 8th time as a head coach coaching against Alabama, but your first time meeting them in Sanford Stadium. How much of a difference do you think playing this game at home can make for you guys?
Being at home is an advantage. Just as I say, going on the road is hard. Going on the road last year to play the games we played, hard. Going to Tennessee a couple weeks ago was hard. Playing at home, it helps. The atmosphere helps. the crowd noise helps. Being familiar with your surroundings and all that stuff helps. But at the end of the day, you got to go play football, and it comes down to matchups. It comes down to who blocks and tackles the best, who executes and does things in the key moments of the game. So certainly glad it's at home, but we still got to play well.
100%. I mean, just because you have home field advantage and they might have a 3-point favorite or whatever, it doesn't matter. I mean, if you don't come out and execute, whether that's on the road, at home, it's not going to matter, especially in a game of this magnitude. We continue.
There'll be a lot of attention on Ryan Williams, but what have you seen from the entire Alabama receiving corps and just their strengths?
Block, man, they're physical. They come off, they hit you. You've seen them on tape go vertical, make vertical plays. Obviously, the talent Ryan has, but there's a lot of people that focus on him and try to take him out of the game. And, the Bernard kid has been incredible. I feel like he's been there forever, and he's only been there in his second year. He came with those guys. He is the catalyst to that offense because he does so much. He is similar to Dylan Bell, but they use him as a back. They use him as a point of attack blocker, reverse guy, gadget guy, vertical guy, deep routes. I mean, he's a complete player, and he's really physical. And I have a lot of respect for the way he plays. But all their wideouts are playing at a high level right now because the quarterback is. And when your quarterback's throwing and catching, throwing the ball well, and they're catching the ball well, it's hard because they don't just do one thing. They have very multiple schemes.
One of the things that I do like about the way that Ryan Grubb utilizes Jeremy Bernard is kind of like how the 49ers used to use Deebo Samuel, right? They're not afraid to put him in different formations to get him the football. And I think that, as Ryan Grubb said, he is the standard of playing that wide receiver position. So Kirby Smart knows that the Alabama wide receiver weapons are ultra dangerous. I throw in, he talked about Ryan Williams, he talked about Jeremy, but throw in Isaiah Horton. I think he's the type of player that when you see him as a defensive coordinator, like, man, we got to be able to figure out where this guy is specifically in red zone situations. He has 2 touchdowns on the year. And then Lazier Brooks, 17. I mean, the guy is a true freshman. He reminds me of Jalen Waddle, the way that he plays. This could be a guy that has a breakout type-esque game. I know we've already kind of seen him, but watch for Lazier Brooks. I figured they try to get him the football. We go back to Coach Kalen DeBoer, courtesy of the University of Alabama.
You talked last week, and then Kane talked earlier about there's got to be a better response to adversity on the road. I know last year's game was at home, but how much can you use that game as an example of responding to adversity and then finishing through all 4 quarters?
Yeah, and that's it. And it's never over till it's over. And you can, I challenge the guys to watch some football this weekend. And, we pulled up a game or two and tried to learn from what other teams are doing and what happened to them, good and bad. And that, you fight till the very last play. And that's whether you're ahead or whether you're on the wrong end of it at that time. And that example last year was exactly, one that we lived out. And so it was great, and then it was hard, and then we found a way. And so, you play because crazy things happen, and you play because you love to compete, and that's what, our guys are going to do here this Saturday.
Yeah, I think that's just it. I mean, you play to the end of the game, and that's something that when you look to the Georgia Bulldog team, we know that Kirby Smart's team is not going to quit. Last year when Alabama jumped up, how many of you inside the comment box thought that the game was over? I did. And here comes Georgia. They came back and they retook the lead. You look at how Georgia just played Tennessee. They didn't give up. I think they were down 21-7 at one point before coming back. So you got to play to the whistle. You got to fight through the adversity. It's been kind of one of the things that Coach Kalen DeBoer and his staff have been asked the most this week.
All right, thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Obviously, there was a lot of similarities between the two teams under Coach Saban. Have you seen a difference in just how you guys would prepare for this version of Alabama now that they've kind of started to morph into, kind of more of what Coach DeBoer wants to do with his team?
Yeah, I don't know where that question's going. I mean, how do you prepare for any team? We prepare for every team the same. We don't go, okay, we got to prepare for Tennessee differently than we prepare for Alabama. We prepare by doing what they do and trying to do it better than they do it in terms of the look we give our guys, which is really hard to simulate. But I don't see it like, okay, Coach DeBoer's there, we got to prepare this kind of way. They're a really good football team with really good players. they've changed. Yeah, they've changed defensively and they've changed offensively. And you know what? They'll change every year as their personnel changes. You know, Milroe was different than Ty, but they're both tremendous athletes, and our preparation is what we're trying to remain consistent.
Back to you.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, it doesn't matter who's really coaching the team, right? I mean, the Saban factor, DeBoer, whatever. It's like, how does this team, like, what do they have? How do we have to prepare for this specific team? This team has different weapons. They have a different quarterback who's very dangerous. You have different wide receivers. The defense, I think you look at them and you're like, can we take advantage of this defense? By the way, I think the defense and the offensive line will be the biggest reasons that Alabama wins or loses this game. Here we go. We got a couple more minutes from Coach Kirby Smart.
Days as a player, could you feel a difference in how the atmosphere felt, the crowd noise for a night game? I've heard that it's louder at night, and maybe that's true in most venues.
Yeah, I would agree with that statement that it's louder at night than day. I think depending on the day and the time of the year and the temperature, it can take its toll on the fan base, just like it does the players. I mean, we're not as fast. Our GPS numbers say 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock games, they're not as fast when it's 85, 90 degrees with a humidity factor like we have around here. You end up who can survive, not who can be the fastest. And at night, you don't run into those things. I think the crowd has a little longer to get prepared for it, and they're louder. I mean, they're not as taxed. There's not as much heat. So the games I've coached in, played in, been a part of, night games are a little more rowdy.
Yeah, and that's just it. I mean, going on the road, a night game, this is every single thing that you want in college football. It's going to be ultra loud. I love the point. He's right. I mean, the fans are just louder at night. You know, you've had all day to kind of do your thing and let it loose for a big-time game in the SEC. Hey, fam, I appreciate you guys being here. Please drop a thumbs up on this video. It really means a lot to me. I hope you appreciate the content packaging and the dialogue between the two head football coaches and a little bit of me as well. I can't wait for next Saturday. You know, I'll be here daily with coverage, 10 a.m. Central Time right here on Bama Football on YouTube. Give a Roll Tide inside the comment box. If you're a Georgia fan, welcome on in. Jump inside the comment box as well. Early score predictions are always wanted, or X factors in this game. Coming to you from beautiful Tuscaloosa, Alabama on this fine Monday, September 22nd. Kyle Henderson of Bama Football on YouTube. See you, fam.